Ramble.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Black Teens Talk. Today I'm joined with Shayla and Janiyah.
First. Wow.
You guys, they can hear you.
Sorry.
So, what are we talking about today? Anyone wants to start off?
Yes.
All right, so who's starting? Because I'm too scared to start.
Oh, Elijah.
Yeah. It's the first one.
Colorism and police brutality.
Okay, so the whole colorism thing, you guys are going to have to explain that to me a little bit more because I didn't really understand it when you first said it. And I'm new to the term colorism. I don't even know what that is.
Colorism is basically when... I'll go.
What?
Okay, I'm sorry. Can I say it?
Go ahead, you're already talking.
I don't want to seem like I was kind of off, but colorism is basically when it deals with like black people and stuff like that. And it's like when you get mistreated or degraded basically for how dark you are.
Isn't that racism?
No,
that's a... Go ahead, Janiyah.
It stems from racism, but it's within the black community. So pretty much,
Oh, I see what you're
runs
saying.
by the idea that
Okay.
the more light skinned you are, or the more closer to white you are, the better. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So, colorism is the idea of that's completely opposite of racism. That's like trying to be a whole different race completely. Wow. Okay, so basically colorism is like, I don't even know for real. Yeah, apparently she got disconnected. I'm adding her back now.
Hello.
Oh.
Yeah.
You back?
What happened?
I don't know. I guess it said you got disconnected.
Ooh.
So
Anyway, I was saying that colorism is like, it's like inside of Janiyah said it was inside of the black community, and it's basically the whiter you are, well, not the lighter skin tone you are, the better. The closer to white that you are, the better. And that's just like off the walls. That's completely opposite of racism. Colorism.
Yeah, it is. That's basically what it is.
What
it's
the
mostly
heck?
like with black women, like dark skinned black women, like get it the worst. Like, you know, like you hear pretty much rappers rapping about light skin, red bone, curly hair, pretty much like European, all that stuff. And that's a form of colorism.
Yeah. And it's like they'll be calling dark skinned girls black monkeys, burnt cookie, and all that other stuff. And it's like
Black monkey.
Monkeys, gorillas, you know what I'm saying? Anything that's like dark or like black, they would so call it.
Well, yeah, that's different from colorism because that's like them making fun of them because of their darker skin tone. They're like
colorism. That's part of it.
Okay, so colorism has multiple terms. It's not just the lighter you are, but it's also being made fun of because of how dark you are. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So that
It
I
runs
got
by
you. Wow. I'm learning.
It runs by the idea of light, pretty, dark, ugly.
Right. And they used to do like a paper
okay.
bag. It actually started back when slavery was around. Like when you was on the lighter, if you was light skinned, you would be in the house. If you was dark skinned,
you was sold for more, right?
No, it was.
I thought that was the thing too. When you were like, if you're lighter, that when you were auctioned, that you'd be bought for more or something like that.
It was the lighter skinned people were in the house and darker were outside.
Yeah, and stuff like that.
Pretty much the light skins would get raped and stuff. and then the dark skins would get beat and all that.
And I forgot what the name was, but it was a slave owner who made it a plan, which is still working today, to like separate the dark skinned people from the light skin. And
oh yeah, I mean, I see people all the time. They're like they rather be with a light skinned person when really it's the same black race. It's just like we have division in our own race, and that's just crazy. To think like colorism, it's weird.
Right, and they even used to have a paper bag test. Like if you were darker than the paper bag, you wouldn't be allowed to like go anywhere. I mean, go inside wherever you were going. Like, yeah, like
really.
One time there was I don't know who it was, but I heard a story about this girl who was at the club, and she was like real popular, or she owned the club, and they did a paper bag test, and the girls who were darker, she would tell them to leave. Yeah, it's like,
so it's like the paperback you're saying is like cardboard or something?
Yeah.
Cardboard color? Okay.
Right.
Wow.
Like, another example would be like all these public interviews about these raggedy people asking, would you prefer light skin or dark skin?
Kodak Black is the perfect example of that interview. Because he had did an interview.
Kodak Black.
So what happened was this girl was like interviewing him and stuff like that, and she was asking, what would you prefer? And he was like, he don't really like people his color because he's dark skinned himself, because we're too gutter, we're too gruesome, and we're too strong. And he said that light skinned girls, he could break them down easily.
What?
Yeah. There's a video that was on.
He said that?
There was a video on Instagram going all around about it. Mm-hmm.
Wow. I've seen that like through the whole like Instagram, not just Instagram, but like women in general. They would be like, I guess like the light skins are like more beautiful than the dark skins, and it's like light equals beauty. I'm gonna say, I don't know.
Believe it or not, this whole colorism, light skin, dark skin thing is a form of white supremacy, because like the closer to white, the better. Like, or if you were mixed, but versus if you were phenotypically black, it's just like you're evil, you're aggressive, And so it's a form of
that's a whole thing. Like, some people in the black community don't like the word ghetto, and some people are just straight up ghetto. I mean, I say it, I don't mind the word, but a lot of black African American people don't like the, I guess I'm doing the fingers here, stereotype that people have put on to us. But really, in my mind, this is my opinion, by the way, I think that a lot of the people, I'm not saying everyone in the black community is like this, I'm saying that a lot of people in the black community have just like succumbed to that stereotype. Like, you saw it in the riots and stuff. Some people were doing it actually for the cause, and some people were there to steal and break things. Like, that's not peaceful protesting at all. And then Trump called some of them thugs, which a lot of people hate it, but a lot of people were there to be a thug. A lot of people were there to break down store windows and steal stuff and later sell it. And it was even a video on Instagram where there was a group of black males, and they were burning this homeless man's mattress. And I'm like, this guy, okay, I guess because he was white, but I'm not saying that was the reason. Like, they're burning this guy's mattress. I'm like, what did that have to do with what happened to George Floyd? And then it's just weird, because a lot of black people just get mad because they're being put in this stereotype, but constantly we're like succumbing to this stereotype. Constantly we are indulging, constantly we are matching up to the stereotype that they give us, which is just mind-boggling. How people can get mad when they see a black person. Well, okay, I shouldn't say that, because some black people aren't in the stereotype. Some black people can behave themselves. They aren't loud and obnoxious in public. They can they have a good demeanor, they have manners, they have etiquette. And some black people, they're in public yelling on the phone, just being like straight up ghetto. I'm saying the word, there it is.
I do agree to some point. I do agree on some, because some people do be like
I agree to some degree, but
Right. But then at the same time, they try to make it seem like we all be like that or something like that. Or sometimes they'll
Yeah.
make up
yeah,
things
it's a
and make up
stereotype.
accusations. Like yes, yeah, like that basically, and say that. Like in movies, you notice how in some movies, when it comes to black people, most of the time we're either what in the hood from the projects stuff like that. We're either
Yeah.
ghetto, don't have no parents in our lives or nothing like that. We don't got no sense. We're at ghetto and stuff like that.
Or somebody on
And
the
it's
road
like-
or something.
That's true. In Hollywood, black people are portrayed as like the bottom, just like the end of the totem pole. And that means, of course, there's some movies as Ariel or the star is a black person, but it's true in a lot of movies you do see black people like in the slums in the hood or whatever.
And
Especially
if
as
we
a
are in
dark
a positive, and if we are in the movie, the ones that gets the best roles, which refers back to colorism, are the light skinned girls who have the better roles. Like
The lights. That's true.
Except
That is
like,
true.
You're just funny, but yeah, like they trying to make it seem like they're better, they're well educated, and then when it comes to dark skin, we either the thirsty ones, the ones that are toxic girlfriends and etc. Or we're just the ones that we're gold diggers and stuff like that, or uneducated. And it's just like, why?
And I know that
person
I'm
can-
not.
What? Wait, what?
Go ahead,
What you say?
Janaya.
Yeah,
I
What?
was gonna say, I'm not. Even though I'm not dark or brown, I 100% agree with you. And I feel like a lot of people like that are my color aren't allies for us because like they feel. I feel like a lot of people are colors. They just ain't gonna make it obvious, if that makes sense.
What? As to what do you mean?
would say-
People
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
like they think they're better because they're light skinned, and that's not me, but it's a lot of people that are like that, and honestly that's why the white people don't like us anyway.
That is true to some degree, but it's also because of the idea that other people sometimes, like for kids, like sometimes it always, one thing I'll say is it always starts with the parents, because don't nobody is born hating a certain, nobody's born hating something.
That's
And
true.
especially nowadays with guys, they see, what do you see on TV? You see what, light-skinned girls in videos and stuff like that, and like they always better and all this stuff, and they always in these music videos, so it's made to seem like they're better. So yeah.
Light skin with the hair.
Yeah. Typically, the lighter females are casted first in music videos or TV shows and stuff, rather than the darker skin tones. But I think a lot of people don't realize is that they're still black. So it's like they are like higher than the normal black people, but they aren't as high as, you know, someone being casted as a white person.
And the thing is, go ahead. I'm sorry, Janai.
Shayla.
Go ahead. Huh?
Wait, what'd you say?
Well, you can go ahead first. I'm sorry. I keep cutting you
No.
off. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You said the thing is, and then you said something else.
I was trying to say the thing is about it. I hate it when people be this is something somebody else, a lot of black people I notice do. They'll be like, instead of admitting they're black and taking pride of it, they'll say, "Oh, I'm not black, I'm Asian. Oh, I'm not black, I'm Chinese," and stuff like that. And
Oh yeah, they'll say that they're mixed with this or like this percentage of this. I guess that's I mean, some people are ashamed to be a part of the black community because of the image that it has. And I'm not going to say that's okay. I'm not going to say that it's not okay. But if they choose to do that, then that's them. I mean, they don't want to be in this because there's a lot of drama and jealousy in the whole black community thing. Like you guys were saying, for the whole light skin versus dark skin thing, there's a lot of that even in our own community. So before people can say Black Lives Matter, we have to get us together, like us united, black people united, before we can like go out and march and stuff. Because of course, if you're like, let me put it like this. If you're marching for this cause and everyone's together, then that has like greater impact on people who are watching.
You took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah, cause Trump or the government, they were watching the riots and stuff, and they were seeing how divided we are with rioting. Like, you had the rioters, you had the looters, you had the people who are out there for the cause, you had the separateness. And that's the same thing with the light skin, dark skin thing. But I think if it was like more of a united thing, like if everyone was marching for the same thing, for the same cause, they weren't looting or anything, I think it would have had a different effect. I don't think Trump would have said the word thugs or called the people that he called thugs at all.
See, this is the thing. I do agree to some point, but like, again, I'm gonna be honest. They're telling everybody what we did bad, but they're not telling everybody the full story about what made us come to a certain point. And with rioting, I may agree with some point to it, but I'm gonna tell you this: there have actually been some peaceful protests, and even though it was peaceful, and everybody's like just.
Okay, so here we're getting into the whole police brutality thing, right?
Hold on. I still have something to say though.
Okay.
What'd you say?
I said, once you finish saying your piece, I still have something to say about colorism tying into police, this whole, like, George Floyd situation, so go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. But anyway, so it's like, there are literally people that have been peaceful, but they were still, like, throwing stuff at us and all this other stuff, like, getting tear gassed and everything. And then of course, when you get tear gassed or being shot at, especially with rubber bullets, you're gonna wild out. Ain't nobody gonna just sit down and take it. And then they would show those parts of what happened, of the aftermath, but they would never show what really, really happened. So they would take the bad parts we did, put it on the news, and then all of a sudden we're thugs and rioters. And the thing about it is, even though we're peaceful, it's still really not much changing. So it's like whether we're silent or whether we're violent, nothing really changes. Because if you know, policemen have really been getting real bold after this George Floyd situation. It's been getting real bold with it.
Now I'm just going to put this out here. And I'm not saying that what everyone's doing isn't making a change. But it's going to take a whole hell of a lot more than marching and rioting and yelling Black Lives Matter. It's going to take more than a social media movement to, undo. Or I wouldn't say undo, because if we undo what we did, we wouldn't be here today. So a whole lot of our history has helped us get here. But what I'm saying is... it's going to take more of like a social media move or a social media, what they call it, a movement to end this whole racism thing. And I think we are a whole lot farther than we were, but it's still, there's still racism here.
And I was going to say...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You can?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
So, like... kind of what both of y'all were, especially Elijah, what he was saying when he said, what you were saying when you said, how did all of this division within the Black community with colorism start? It kind of started with white people in a way, sort of.
It did start.
We did it first. We did it first.
No, they started it first.
It was like lighter is better, darker is not. That pushes the narrative of racism. So how are we gonna how are we gonna get rid of racism if we still have colorism and division within our own community?
I do.
Exactly.
I do see that.
Yeah.
And don't get me started on the black on black crimes.
Oh yeah, I do.
Actually, if you want to get started on that, we're at 20 minutes. I would like to hear what you have to say about that.
I'm sorry.
This whole, we can complain about police, but who protecting black people? And don't get me started, who protecting black women in the first place? Because black men over there with the Hispanics. And white men ain't going to protect us, so who going to protect black women?
The black men are supposed to be helping us with that. Right. I said black.
Okay, so what were you saying about the whole black on black crimes?
I mean, like, we killing, like, I'm not trying to be on the white people's side, but black people kill black people every day. Like I said, the whole colorism and killing each other, we just need to all come together as one race and attack the enemy. Not black versus white. Everybody.
Yeah. I mean, the whole black versus black, the whole black versus black crime thing also ties into that stereotype. I mean, they see us as, dogs or whatever. They see us fighting our own. But like I was saying earlier, if the government, if everyone else on the opposing team sees that we're all, together, maybe it would have had a different outcome.
Okay, when it comes to black on black crime and police brutality, I don't mention black on black crime because to me, when people do that, it's like, oh, since y'all do this and y'all do this and that to each other, so why not? Why can't we do it to y'all? I feel like it's trying to like cloud like the reason because they try to make it seem like it's just I don't like when people mention black on black crime when it comes to police brutality because that
it is a completely different thing.
It's a different thing, and I'm not saying that white people or police should kill us, but I'm saying we need to make sure that we're a whole before we go
exactly.
You know like,
I'm just making sure because
black men need to protect black women because black men are not for black women. Black men are over there chasing Latinas, the light skins, the mixed, the Asians, all of that. So I mean, like we can't attack them if we attacking ourselves.
I do agree.
Exactly.
And another thing about them, and I'm not saying all, don't get offended, but it's like, don't be talking about how we have stank attitudes and stuff like that, but let a Latina have the same attitude as we do, and all of a sudden it's called spicy or feisty.
Yeah. A lot of them will say that it's in their culture. Like a lot of Latino women just are just like that. But on our end, it's more of an attitude or
nasty.
What's another word? Yeah, like a nastiness. Right, that's true. But I think that has a lot to do, like what Janaya was saying about the Latinas and the Asians, the mix. I think that has a lot to do with the division in the black community, like you were saying, the jealousy and stuff like that.
I don't know if y'all seen that video of these dusty people, these dusty boys that threw the girl in the trash can.
Oh my God! No, I did not see that.
You know what? You know what's crazy? I haven't seen any of the recent videos. I haven't seen the Breonna Taylor video. I haven't seen the George Floyd video. I haven't seen any of the videos. I mean, I've seen like screenshots, pictures, but I've never seen the actual video.
It's traumatizing. I don't.
There was a bunch of teenage boys that it's on YouTube. Look up girl thrown in dumpster. There was a black girl. All of these black dark skin boys threw the dark skin girl in the dumpster and ran away and just made fun of her. So what I'm saying is black men don't protect black women. Who's gonna protect black women? Nobody.
Exactly. And I hate it I hated how the only thing we're seen as is strong, as if that's the only compliment. Like I'm saying, it's like we're not allowed to be vulnerable or anything. It's not.
Yeah.
It's like, come on now.
And I feel like when they say strong, they're secret.
But I think that whole strong thing is because a lot of women have been like torn down and stuff, and this is their way of like coming back into the light. Like I'm stronger than what was done to me, but it doesn't show that what was done to me. Like I'm saying, this is what was done to me, and like I guess I'm a better person because of it. But they take this defensive side as more, I'm stronger than that, rather than I don't even know how to word it. This is what helps me come to the person I am today. But they take more of a defensive side as saying, I'm stronger than that.
But I see what you're talking about. It's just like, I understand. I mean, okay, honestly, I do appreciate the compliment strong, but it's like, why is it every time they talk about that?
That's not the only thing
Right,
I
but I'm
am.
not just-
Yeah.
I'm strong, and it's like, and I hate it because I'm in a way I kind of hate it how we're always described as strong because it's like we're not allowed to be weak or vulnerable or
Strong black women. Yeah, I've
yeah.
seen that a
like,
lot.
I'm like we're more than just strong and stuff like that. It just doesn't make sense. And another thing about it is, it's just like so much because it's like we're the most unprotected race ever of women, literally. Like,
We're in most unprotected category. We're black and we're women.
right.
Yeah, exactly,
Right,
Janiyah. Exactly.
Exactly.
And don't be a black dark-skinned woman.
Exactly. And it's like the only time, and I feel like the only time certain, okay, I'm gonna say dark skin. I feel like the only time we're appreciated is when we're pretty or at least decent or something like that. And it's like, and I just
Or have
sometimes
quote good hair.
right. There is no such thing as good hair. Okay, no,
I know
that. There is good hair. Good hair is hair that's moisturized and taken care of, and all this other stuff.
Exactly.
Good hair is not long curly hair. It is not curly hair.
I've never seen someone put it the way that you're saying it right now. Good hair is hair that's well maintained,
Good hair is healthy
not
hair.
bad
Healthy
hair.
hair is good.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
like
that's
I
on
said,
period.
period. Like I said, good hair is not long hair. Good hair is not 3B, 3C. And good hair is not hair that is...
Wow.
I'm just saying, 'cause, like, the only time black hair is appreciated is when it's long or it's when a certain texture.
Yeah.
And that's
Or it has like some kind of weave in it or
Right.
whatever. When really it's not even yours then. You can't say that you have good hair because it ain't yours.
back to the whole strong thing.
Wow.
Back to the whole strong thing. Do you ever think that black women are considered strong because they secretly think of us as aggressive? Is that what-
I think she was saying strong as in a positive way.
It's like, you're a strong black woman. Is that like? Do you think that they can mean that in a very masculine way? Like, you know, when you see a strong person physically, you kind of imagine them as more of aggressive. Is that what you think that they could possibly mean in between the lines?
I'm going to be honest. I do not know. I just know that, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. Honestly.
I think it was more in the way that Shayla put it, where they're strong as in like the I don't know if you meant the physical way or like a personality way.
Mentally strong, like, you know.
Mental way. Okay.
Mentally.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Because
Yeah.
it's like,
But then, like I was saying, that just comes from them being tore down, and they don't want to, help make. They don't want that experience to help them be a better person. They want to be defensive about that. Like, that happened to me, and I'm like, every time I get on this subject, I don't know how to word it.
that's the same thing for me.
That happened to me, and I'm a better person because of it. But they put the word strong as in, I'm better than that. I'm stronger than that. What happened to me?
Like I can't be weak or anything.
I can.
Or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And it's like, why we all like? For one, can we be something else other than just strong all the time? I mean, in a way, some may appreciate the compliment, but at the same time, come on now. And like I said,
Okay. So you were saying, I'm just going to hop off this subject a little bit because we've been running on this subject for a while. So what were you saying about the whole, the part that they don't show on the news and on television, the police brutality part?
What they don't?
I think you were opening with that, Shayla.
Go ahead.
Who, me?
No, Elijah.
Who?
I keep.
Oh, I was just saying, go ahead. You can go ahead with
Sorry.
that.
I I just have so much to say. But like, what they don't show is when we're being peaceful and stuff like that. Cause like I be saying, like they don't show the parts where we're just being around talking and stuff like that, or trying to help out and just being peaceful and stuff. They only want to show the bad parts, where of course it makes us as black people look like thugs or criminals and stuff like that. And it's just so much. It's just like, come on now, why y'all always showing partly of what happened and not showing the whole thing? Y'all not showing what the police be doing to us. And if if some haven't noticed, the only time they show the bad police or what the policemen are doing are on social media, because of course on the news they want to try to make white people look like, oh, they're just victims and stuff like that, when in reality they be attacking us first. And I even heard that there have been a few times they try to frame us by being violent and stuff like that. And like I said, it's a lot of stuff that hasn't been talked about on the news when it comes to this protest and this whole thing about George Floyd. And it's like it's ridiculous. And the thing is, even when we do have receipts and stuff like that, it's still not shown on the video, because like I said, they want to make sure they look good and we look bad. And another thing is, you can go on and on and try to show on TV about how good policemen are, but just because a few of them they shake our hands and stuff like that doesn't mean they're all good. How do you know they're not just doing it just so they can look good?
Just for show. Yep.
And the whole thing is, another thing, which this is gonna go to another topic about policemen, about and stuff like that, on why people are getting so upset, because I know people be like, not all cops are like this and da 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 da. But like I said, I think the reason why people are getting so angry with the cops and saying all cops are bad now is because of where they originated from. And the origin is slave patrol.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they would capture free. Yeah, go ahead.
I think the whole. No, I'm not saying I think.
Go ahead.
In my opinion, the whole police brutality, not the whole thing, but I think in a part of police brutality, there's this control mindset, because there's so many more of us, as in us being black people, as it is in Caucasians. And I think it's a fear thing where they don't want us to get, too united, too much of us that they can't handle us. So I think the whole police brutality thing is like a control thing. It's a thing so they control things to where it doesn't get too extreme for the government to handle. Because there are a lot like I can't even say the word. Statistically, there are a whole lot more black people than there are white people, African American, than there are Caucasian. And the whole police brutality is a control mindset that they have, or I'm not even sure, it's probably in their training that it's, I'm in control here. Like we saw with the whole, the officer was on his neck. That was a control move. As you see, he didn't have him handcuffed. Okay. He had him on the ground where he was helpless and he was in control. He was on top. He was in control. So I think the whole police brutality thing is a control factor that the government has been put in. And even there are some videos of police brutality on their own race, on the Caucasians. So I think a big part of it is in racism, but there also is a thing in control, that they have to control the people, because there are a lot more United States citizens than there are people in the government. Like, they can't take all of us. That's an expression. They can't take all of us, so let's all go do it.
Exactly. You're absolutely right.
Hey, y'all.
What? Huh?
Wait, what did you say, Sheila?
You had to say something. I thought you said y'all like you was calling us, so I was trying to see what you're trying to say. I'm sorry.
What do y'all think about this whole defunding the police thing? Because I don't think it's going to happen.
I think that's like a control on our side, because we want to have some grip some control, some traction in this situation. So I think it started with I believe an African American person. The whole defunding the police thing. I think that's a control move to show that, hey, we can fight back much more. I think that hold up. It might have been started as a white person. I don't even remember. But the whole defunding the police is not in the Black Lives Matter movement. I think that's something outside of it, because when they say defund the police, I don't think they mean like take away their like government funding. I think it means like take away their power that they have on the local citizens. That's what I think defunding the police is.
Do you want? But they said that meaning like they get no pay. Do you think that's a good idea? Do you think it'll happen?
That's gonna be hard.
I don't think it'll happen, or it's a good idea. I mean, not all cops are racist, so there are even some black cops. So I think defunding the police there'll be so many people, be put out of their homes. They don't have any income at all. So I think that the whole defunding the police thing doesn't even make sense. I don't even know why that was said. I'm pretty sure there's a reason behind it, but I don't think it makes sense.
I researched it, and what they meant by defunding the police was defunding the police like the police will not get paid anymore, or at least their salary won't be nearly as much or something. So I don't think it'll happen. I think that's dumb. I mean, to be honest, let me tell you why. Because, sorry, Shayla.
No, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
First of all, the police already aren't Speedy Gonzales. Do you think if your house is catching on fire and they take 30 minutes, we defund the police, they're going to take a whole hour and a half? Come on now. They don't have as much motivation because they're not getting paid. If we defund the police, it's going to affect us.
Oh. So, Janaya, what I'm getting from what you're saying is that they think that just because they're not getting paid enough that they're not going to get motivated to like come help people. Is that what you're trying to say?
In a way,
I think she was saying that they won't have the resources to do it because their money has been like cut or whatever.
They won't have the resources, and just to be honest, like for instance, when we go to school, we don't get paid to go to school. So we don't have nearly as much motivation to work hard as we do if we had a job because we're getting paid to do what we do, if that makes sense. I think the police like helping people, but cutting their pay isn't going to do anything but decrease the resources and the performance of their jobs and the time.
I get what you're saying, Janam, but I get what you're saying. But when it comes to money, I feel like you signed up for this and stuff like that. You went through all the training in the world and all this other stuff just to do what? Help people. So I feel like, and I understand, which I would not do the job if I'm not getting paid to. I would agree on that. But it's like at the same time, money shouldn't be your only motivation is to be a cop and stuff like that. And like I said, you're supposed to be protecting people and helping us, not killing us. And I feel like with policemen, they feel like just because they got a badge and a gun and a taser and all that, that they got all the power in the world. And they can just do whatever they can to us when they want to. And even though I hate to admit it, the sad fact about it is it's their right. Because think about it. Even though George Floyd's killer got arrested, look how long it took for him to get arrested. Look how long it took. And I guarantee you right now, if we didn't say anything and rioting and protesting and showing up to his door and all this stuff, it wouldn't have happened. It probably wouldn't have happened. It would have been just another case with no justice. Just like many other black people who have been killed. Just like many other black people.
But that I forgot that whole thing, like you were saying, like the gun and the tasers. Right. There's another piece of it where they are arresting or they are charging black people that has weapons, even though they have license, even though they went the right way of owning a weapon. Like, it is legal to own a weapon in the United States, but they target the black people, I think, because that's another function of that whole control thing. Because if we have guns, then we're just as powerful as you are. So I think them arresting them and apprehending their weapons is a control move on the government / police department.
Okay, so what I was saying was, I'm not saying that their only motivation is money. What I'm saying is, like, for instance, if you be a teacher, of course you want to teach kids, but think of a teacher getting paid now versus just doing it just to do it with no pay. Don't you? I mean, like, kids are terrible. Don't you think the performance of the teacher would be a lot lower because they're not getting paid? Of course you want to do it, but
right, I agree.
That's what I'm saying with the whole police thing.
I agree.
Not all police are racist. I know that, but if we defund them all in all, it's going to take them twice as long as it does to help to perform a situation because there's absolutely no pay.
Right, I agree on that part. I need to work my I need to work my words, right? I need to work my words. I agree on that part.
Elijah, anything else within the police brutality thing that you wanted to bring up?
Right.
No, I just been this whole time. I just been piggybacking off what y'all said. So if you guys have anything else to add,
right.
One more thing. I think we should, as far as police, I think we should have a more diverse population of them. Like, we need a lot more black women. We need a lot more women also.
Right.
Black women. Just, we need all types of women, all types of men. Just more diversity and more diversity in the world as well. And to all my black people out there, stop asking people light skin or dark skin, because at the end of the day, you're still black.
Exactly.
Exactly. All right, so I think I'm going to wrap this episode up of Black Teens Talk. If you guys have anything else to add, you have 3 minutes, so go ahead. Or if you want to plug your Instagrams or whatever, you got 3 minutes.
Follow me on Instagram at Janiya, JANIY .AA. And Janiya the Creator, JANIYA .the Creator. Okay.
Add me on Instagram, spilt cocoa powder, SPILTCOCOAPOWER. Yes.
All right. Well, today we spoke of police brutality, division in the black community, and what else was it? I don't remember everything. Colorism. If you guys have enjoyed this episode of Black Teens Talk, make sure you give us a good rating on wherever you're listening on, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.